Hello, 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 and Happy New Year. Happy New Year 2024. We're excited for this first edition of Transformation Thursday here at Northeast Delta Human Services Authority. We're certainly excited about the great information we're getting ready to bring to you and for you to benefit our community as a whole. As you can see, I got my backup with me. Mr. Deuce is here as well. Deuce, say hey, everybody. Yes, indeed. And so we've been enjoying our holiday season. I hope that you have. I hope that you've gone through everything that you needed to go through. Hope that you've enjoyed your family, your friends, your loved ones. And I hope that you've been able to cope through what is called SAD, SAD, right? Seasonal affective disorder. Studies and research show that actually throughout the winter season, once the daylight savings shift to where it's getting darker earlier, it's getting colder, and the holidays come to mind, that many individuals find themselves feeling sad or down, or your energy level and your mood or just a little lesser. And it's actually a real condition. It's called seasonal affective disorder. And it's just as a result of those things I just mentioned. I hope that you've endured that, that if you really felt not the best version of yourself, that you realize that the HSA, we are here for you, that you can call us morning, noon, or night at 800-256-2522, and we'll be that listening ear. If you are someone you know are in need of mental health, addictive disorder, prevention and wellness, developmental disability service, call our crisis hotline. We want you to be the best you every day and all day, which leads us into today's showing of Transformation Thursday. For 2 years now, you all have seen us, you've journeyed with us, whether in person, if you've been able to make it, whether it's through Transformation Thursday or other live streams that we've done on site in our respective parishes throughout our 12 parish region that we serve. Or maybe you've just been able to journey and witness through our constant contact email list or through our Facebook and Instagram social media timelines. Regardless of how you've been following the Phoenix, we believe that we've been really helping everyone understand that art is medicine, and how we've been using art as medicine and art as therapy for the last 2 years or so. And what we've been able to do, we've commissioned artists to create works on our behalf, allow them to tell their stories through their own lens of trauma, of treatment, of recovery, of whatever that challenge in life has been or currently is for them. And we've been fortunate enough to take those works and take their artists and their stories and display them throughout the region. And so we've been in Ouachita Parish, we've been at the Monroe, Northeast Louisiana Delta African American and Heritage Museum. We've been in Lincoln Parish with the Ruston Artisans. And now, as of this past week, we are now in Union Parish at the Discovery Place Union Museum of History and Art. And it is my pleasure, it is my honor to get a chance to meet this young lady who is a managing director, and that is Miss Jean Jones. Gotta listen, son. Miss Jean Jones, who have been a pleasure, who have been a delight to work with. And so, Miss Jean, welcome to Transformation Thursday.
Hey, glad to be here.
Yes, indeed. First off, Miss Jean, tell us. Let's just walk back a little bit, because the Union Museum of History and Art hadn't been a forever thing. And on Tuesday, while we were there for the opening night reception, I got a chance to meet with some of the movers and shakers of Farmerville and Union Parish. And what I heard and what I've learned is that you are really the early champion. You're the early champion for the Union Museum of History and Art. Tell us your initial vision, and some of those initial conversations that you had in bringing the Union Museum of History and Art together.
Okay, sure, glad to do that. It was about 2013 that the Chamber of Commerce acquired a new building with lots and lots of space in it. and there were lots of discussions as to what would be done with that space. And so a lot of us put our heads together and thought about various things that would be good for our community. And we came up with the idea of, let's have a museum, a little small museum, to showcase a lot of the good things about Union Parish there in the Chamber of Commerce building. So we opened our doors to actual exhibits late in 2014. So right now, here in 2024, we are entering our 10th year of service to the community.
Wow.
Their Chamber of Commerce building, we held exhibits all the time. So the public kind of got used to that. And then fast forward several years, an entrepreneur here in the area owned a large building further up Main Street here in Farmerville, and said, I've got all this extra space. Would you be interested in moving your museum to this large space and be here in this space for 5 years rent-free, and then you can decide if you want to buy the building or not. Of course, along the way, we became a 501c3 nonprofit, set up a board of directors and bylaws and all that good stuff. And so our board thought very long and very hard about whether or not to take on that huge responsibility, and decided ultimately to just take a leap of faith and go for it. So we moved in early in 2020, and here we are.
Wow. Wow. I mean, that speaks to a couple of things, being that we're talking about art and just the inception in those early stages of this museum being formed. It sounds like Farmerville Union Parish already understood the role and the value of having art in the community and what it could do to increase culture, increase a livelihood, a quality of life. I think that speaks volume about the people in the community of Farmerville.
Well, it really does. And of course, we want to reflect back, and we do reflect back the ideas, the interests, the passions, the history of this area, the people of this area. We're all about the stories. An awful lot of people think of museums as a repository for things, but those things reflect stories, and that's what we're all about. And so art is a huge part of that, because it does reflect people's ideas, emotions, and of course, what you're doing here with HSA, it's just perfect. It's just a great medium to let people express themselves. When words fail, that's when art really, really shines.
Wow, I love that. When words fail, that's when art really, really shines. That's powerful. I'm gonna keep that one. I'm gonna write that one down and keep that one with me, because that's exactly what I mean. But that's exactly what we're trying to accomplish and have been pressing toward. And this, using art as a tool is not new to HSA. We've done psychodramas. We've also celebrating 10 years as well. But we've done psychodramas. We've used music and dance throughout the years. But this museum and gallery experience of art on display and art through sculpture and art on canvas is a new concept for us, and it allows people to truly, to nail in what you just said. If they have no words, to just let the art shine in their lives, to shine in those dark areas of their experiences and bring them back to their full human potential. So that leads me, Ms. Jean, to, why was it important for Union Museum of History and Art to see this partnership that HSA, when Dylan Jung, our public information officer, reached out to you? What was your initial thoughts and ideas around how could it work, and why was it important to you all?
Oh gosh, so many things. I don't know where to begin. Well, first of all, we know Dylan really well. He's a great friend, and everybody in Farmerville knows Dylan. He's one of us. Yeah.
Yes,
so of course, when he reached out, and his ideas are always great, and we said, "Oh yeah, Dylan, we want to do that." But you know, art tells stories. Art tells stories about people, and that's what we want to do. Not only Union Parish people, but the entire region. You know, we're all connected up here. We all have so much in common, so much history, and so much interconnectedness. So we really want to tell those stories. And of course, when people come in and look at these pieces that you've installed here, these 14 artworks, they have all different kinds of reactions. They want to pick a favorite. Sometimes they gravitate toward the real positive ones because they're uplifting and they show that people have overcome and maybe recovered and feel good about themselves. And sometimes it's hard to look at the ones that are a little darker, and you can see a lot of struggle maybe still going on. Those are harder to look at, but it kind of draws you in. It forces you to think that. And to think in those and maybe shine a light in dark areas in our lives, because we all do, whether we admit it or not. We all have little dark areas, little areas that we don't want to visit very often, but still there. Got to visit once in a while and deal with it. So anyway, we were really glad to bring these pieces in and show the stories.
Yeah, no, certainly. And you all have been so instrumental in helping us learn how to curate art and how to preserve it, even beyond just the relationship has just been phenomenal. And to see the community really rally around. I think on Tuesday night, of course, we saw some of your corporate people there in terms of Origin Bank, big corporate, come there. We saw police juror AJ Ford Jr. there. Your local newspaper, both of your newspapers had us on the front page last week,
That's
and
right.
then the Bernice Banner showed up there on site. The mayor's office, Mary Barrios was there, and so it just shows you all the different, perspectives all rally around Museum of History and Art, and this partnership with HSA. It lets us know that there is value for this type of conversation in Union Parish and in Farmerville, and we're glad to be able to open up that conversation, create opportunity for that conversation to go further. Because you were sharing with us, there have been other groups since Tuesday already been coming in to see the art. Tell
That's
us
right.
about those groups.
Yeah. In fact, just this morning we had two different groups from, in fact, our next door neighbor. It's an IOP, an individual outpatient, intensive outpatient program. And some of their clients came in and they were able to visit and talk about these things and bring up some of the same subjects really that they talk about in their own therapy groups. And yet this was artwork presented for them to look at and to think about and to discuss. And it really does spark conversations. It really does. A group came in yesterday from ARCO. I think probably mentally challenged individuals. Same kind of response. Look at these things. Talk about it. What do you think about that? Does it remind you of anything? People you know, or maybe in your own mind. So these kind of things are important conversations for people to have, either for themselves or family members, people that they're associated with, that they're concerned about. And these are great ways to get those conversations going, and maybe even give those people an opportunity to find resources that would be helpful to them or to those loved ones that they're concerned about.
Yeah, no, certainly. And
Yeah.
that's our goal in this, is to reach as many different individuals, as many different groups as possible. We know that not everybody feels comfortable going into a clinic right away. We know that not everybody feels like even talking to someone in general
Mhm.
right away. And some people, because of whatever disability or impairment that they may have, they may not be able to communicate the way that others can. And so this art, to come into a gallery or to come into a museum where there's silence, where freedom of thinking can take place. That's what we wanted to achieve with this. Is just a safe haven, a neutral space a fair space, a transparent space that an individual can go and have free thought and be liberated through that thinking experience and that
Yeah,
transformative experience. And so,
that's right.
for us, already 2 and 3 days in, it's feeling like
Hmm.
our mission is accomplished in Union Parish.
Very good. Good.
Yes, indeed. So, what else you guys have going on at the Union Museum of History? And what other exhibits? Because when I was there, I saw some history of Farmerville, some old relics, and some old pictures. I saw some tribal things from the Indian tribes. And so, tell us a little bit
Mhm.
more outside of the mental health, or another reason of why people can come to your museum.
Yeah, yeah. Well, of course, we want to be a window to the world in a lot of ways, and so we have a lot of traveling exhibits that come in, like this one from HSA. We're awfully glad to have. We do have permanent exhibits. For example, our Native American artifacts, and most of the artifacts that we have on display were found right in this area, either Union Parish or adjoining parishes, and so it gives us thought and to remember that we're not the first ones here. People have lived here for thousands, and that's a plural, thousands of years. And we ought to remember that we're walking on ground that people have walked on and lived on, had families, thrived for a very, very long time. It's really hard to wrap our minds around sometimes, but that is reflective through archaeology, which of course is just a wonderful science, a whole different realm in itself. We also have another permanent exhibit area, so people can think back on the more recent people, only 100 or 150 years going back through photography and artifacts that we have on display here. And again, we love to see people come in, maybe 2 or 3 people, especially when they come in with children. They can start talking with them and talk about their own family stories, which is great. We really, really want families to share those stories with the younger generation, and somehow figure out a way to make that more permanent. We're losing permanency because we don't write letters like we used to. We don't even take photographs like we used to. They're on our phones. They're disappearing. So we struggle all the time to try to figure out ways to help people understand. Try to preserve your history in your own family. Write it down. Do some research. Talk to your elders. Take photographs or videos of your elders before they're gone away, and capture those stories. So we have a lot of work to do, and it's not just us; it's everybody who comes here. We're all part of the same story of trying to capture, preserve, talk about history, talk about issues that are going on, and talk too about the future, because the past is prologue. It forms our future, and we've got to start thinking about that past and how do we now turn that around and propel us to the future. So we have a lot to do.
Yes, 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 yes. You talked about, because we're so phone and digital savvy and dependent, really not even just savvy anymore, digital dependent. A lot of our photos and memories are being held in these digital environments, and we are losing those physical
Right.
photos and writings. Which brings to my mind my wife. We went home. I went home. I'm from South Louisiana. And my wife is doing a good job with me. I have my grandmother just turned 94 years old, and my wife is intentional about videoing and taking pictures of my grandmother interacting with her great grandchild or great grandchildren, my children, and talking about those stories. And so because you know we're capturing it and keeping it differently, and so how do we still maintain and get that library of information? Dr.
Mhm.
Sizer always said, our executive director, he always says every time a senior person in our community dies, that's a library that's dying, right? That's
That's
so
right.
much information that we're losing in our communities and in our lives. And so how do we pull that and cherish that and honor that and keep it and maintain it? And so what you all are doing at the museum, I mean, it's so necessary for us as a community to continue thriving.
Great. We appreciate all the All the kind words.
Yes, indeed. Well, Ms. Jean, before we go, tell us where you're located. For those who don't know exactly where the museum is located, your hours of operation, how much
Sure.
does it cost to come in and chat with you? They also have a kids area. Y'all saw Deuce on the stream. Deuce has been there on
Yeah.
site, checking out the kids area. And so tell us, Ms. Jean, a little bit more about your museum.
Sure. We're located at 211 North Main Street in Farmerville. It's 2 blocks north of the courthouse. Can't miss it. We're located right across the street from the large Origin Bank parking lot. We're open here Tuesday through Friday afternoon, 1 to 5, and then on Saturday, 11 to 1. And admission is always free. We have lots of events, go to our website, which is www.unionmuseumofhistoryandart.org. Go there because we have lots of activities. We're not just a museum of things in place. We have lots and lots of activities and events to draw people in. We're gearing up in May for our big Folklife Festival, which is coming up. We'll have an exhibit starting in all of February, a showcase in Grambling State University. Right after that, we'll have a showcase of Louisiana Tech University, and then our big Folklife Festival. And then after that will be a 3-month-long paleontology exhibit. And after that, we're going to start some construction here to renovate the building and make it even better than it already is. So it's a big year.
Yes, indeed. This is the 10-year. This is the 10
Yeah.
year. So you all are doing more in 2024, and we're excited. And we're going to continue to stay partnered and connected with you all throughout the rest of this year. Our exhibit will be there until January 26th. The Mental Health Art Exhibition will be there until January 26th. And so if you all can stop by, say hello to Ms. Jean and see some cool pieces of art and learn some other historical piece of our community as well. Ms. Jean, anything else you want to share with us?
That's it. Just really, really proud to be in partnership with HSA and so many other organizations. So we're glad to have it. And bring Deuce back sometime, will you?
Yes, ma'am. Certainly will. Certainly will. Deuce, tell everybody bye. Bye. Yes, indeed. Well, we certainly thank you all for tuning in with us during your lunch break. We encourage you to continue to follow the Phoenix. You can join our email list on Constant Contact. Go to our website, deltahsa.org. If you or someone you know are struggling with mental health, addiction disorder, or looking for prevention and wellness opportunities or developmental disability services, you can find a mental health clinic near you at deltahsa.org/get help. Of course, our 800 number is always available 24/7, 365, 800-256-2522. And of course, follow the Phoenix on all of your social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Instagram, and YouTube. But we thank you for your time, and let's continue making our region a better region for all to live in. Enjoy your Thursday. Bye.